Okay, welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you come back with more fresh after the break. Now we're going to continue to the third speaker. I would like to welcome Dr. Nuki Agiotama. Dr. Nuki, can you share? Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Nuki.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Adriansa, for the nice introduction. I would like to
share the slide while I just want to mention a little bit on this that Dr. Nuki Agiotama is the executive director of the ASEAN Center for Energy, and not only that, also a very active researcher with more than 47 publications cited by more than 700 papers. So it was a great achievement, Dr. Nuki. And I think it's particularly important on the ASEAN region, where the energy consumption become more large, probably will be twice in decades. So I think we would like to hear from you the policy plan on the energy efficiency in the ASEAN regions. Dr. Nuki Agiotama, yours. Please.
Yes, thank you very much once again, Dr. Ardiansah, again for the nice introduction. And different with the previous speaker, which is very technical and very detailed explanation on the energy efficiency activities. My side is looking at more on the policy general perspective, as well as the future landscape of energy efficiency in the region. So I do have a quite interesting title over here, the key highlights. And then we did develop the 6th ASEAN Energy Outlook last year. It's been launched during the ASEAN Energy Ministers in Vietnam on November 2020. And also over there, we combine with this specifically on the policy plan for energy efficiency and conservation, as it is requested by the committee. Starting from the ASEAN Energy Outlook, if you're looking at in this graph, people may be wondering what this all about. So basically, if we do nothing, there is no implementation of the member states to reduce their energy consumption, to switch their energy mix, both in the primary energy supply as well as the power sectors, then we're looking at the baseline. So the baseline basically will cover all of the current condition, including the government plan on the total primary energy from this year up to 2025 and 2040. The baseline shows that if we do nothing, then we will increase approximately 2.5-fold in comparison with the base year 2017. And in 2025, will be increased around 1.4-fold. I think it's quite alarming since most of the energy will be imported in the year 2040. Then we do have some measures in the region. We call it the ASEAN targeted scenarios. So in the ASEAN targeted scenarios, we implement all of the policy measures by the all member states, 10 of them. Over there, we include all of the regulation on the energy supply, the measures on the energy demand, how to reduce the energy through energy efficiency and conservation. So in the ATS or ASEAN targeted scenarios, we see possibilities to reduce approximately around 300 million tons oil equivalent. But still, it's quite high if we, in the comparison with the further measures that we put it over there, We call it the ASEAN Progressive Scenario, or APS. So in the APS, we may increase up until 1.8-fold in 2040. But when you're looking at over here, that we are focusing on the ATS first, because ATS is something that the government already did, something that government already planned, and also something that government in the member state already execute all of this policy. So in the ATS, the increase is quite a lot, more than two times or two-folds. And in the same year, 2040, we're looking at the potential of RE. With the current policy, the RE increased up to maximum 22% in 2040. But if you may know and you may realize, the ASEAN have a personal target in 2025, which is we need to have a 23% RE share in 2025. So it is quite challenging, isn't it, if you're looking at this projection. So by looking at those projections, that what we need to do and what will be the government facing in the future, I think the most important is we try to grasp the low-hanging fruit, which is coming from the energy efficiency. The low-hanging fruit is less cost initiative than when we change all of the energy supply mix, for example. We change all of the power plant from coal to gas, it will be costly if we don't really looking at the energy efficiency measures. If we focusing a bit deep on the power sectors, in the projection of the APS or progressive scenario, which is the scenario that we develop or we measures based on the ATS, but more further implementation on the energy efficiency and suggestion on the government to push more renewable energy, then it may have a quite big impact. If you're looking at in 2040, the power sectors in the baseline will reach more than 2,700 terawatt hours, while in the progressive scenario, we reach almost 1,900 terawatt hours. So we can save approximately more or less almost 1,000 terawatt hour in the power generation sector. So it is quite promising. In fact, if we're looking at and mostly on this achievement can be done mostly by the energy efficiency, and include, of course, the interconnection amongst ASEAN member states. So in regard with this interconnection, in the regional itself, if you're looking at on the right graph, the region, within the region, exporting around 30,000 gigawatt hours in 2017 and increase significantly in 2025, almost two-fold. And 90% of these are coming from Laos. Laos exporting their power generation into Thailand, and also now we do have interconnection as well from Thailand to Malaysia. Then means that the Laos right now is the dominating the export of electricity in the region. While it's coming from the ASEAN region is quite small, less than 10% if you're looking at on the right graph. So focusing on the energy efficiency and conservation, we do have a target in 2020, which is 20% target to reduce energy intensity based on 2005 figures. The energy efficiency and conservation target in 10 member states, a bit a story on this slide, that the energy saving is being or started to being implemented by most of the member states. If you're looking at, for example, energy saving in Laos, they targeted 10% saving in 2030. In Vietnam, 8% in 2020. In Philippines, 50% by in 2040 from 2005 level. While it's in Brunei, it's 45%. It's quite high. Philippines and Brunei, how they plan to reduce the energy intensity in their country. In Malaysia, focusing on the electricity, they plan to reduce 8% in 2025, while in Indonesia, as previously mentioned by Pak Haryanto, the target of each sector is up to 20% in 2025. And also, interestingly, is Myanmar. Myanmar set quite high target in 2030, which is 20%. And I saw the activities in Myanmar is quite intense in regarding with the implementation of the energy efficiency regulation, including Laos and Cambodia. So the status of building policy in member states mostly has already enforced the energy conservation law regulation. The oldest one is Thailand in 1992, followed by the Malaysia, and then Indonesia, Vietnam in 2011, Singapore in 2013, Brunei in 2014. Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar still under development, but I saw some presentation coming from Cambodia and Laos. It will come very soon, hopefully within this year. On the building efficiency codes, some countries implement the mandatory implementation, such as our country, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. While it's on the labeling system, mainly on the green building, only 4 countries implement this green building, which is Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. On the award program, green building, energy efficient building, some countries are already implementing it, but some are not. So we need to have more further capacity buildings and more further incentive on this such implementation. In regard with the status of energy management development for industrial sectors in member states, looking at over here, most of the countries already implement and execute their plan. And it is various, yeah. From the electricity energy, for example, the target is electricity, coming from electricity. Most of the country try to implement the energy management development. In regard with thermal energy, few countries like Brunei, Cambodia, Laos, and Malaysia and Myanmar is not having such a target yet, but it coming through. In regard with the designated energy use on the annual energy consumption, some countries already implementing it by using quite fixed measurements. For example, Indonesia, all of the users beyond 6,000 TOE per year need to have an energy manager, for example, and I think it will be increases along the draft of the regulation that are being prepared. In Malaysia, if it is more than 3 million kilowatt hour, then they have to have the energy managers. In Philippines, also beyond 500,000 kilowatt hours per year. In Singapore is 54 terajoule per year. In Thailand is more than 1,000 kilowatt or 1,175 kVA or 20 terajoule per year. In Vietnam, similar with others that they already implement such energy management strategies. On the periodical reporting, yes, some of them are putting that a regulation and some are not. On the certified energy manager, all of the country on the right track. While on the certified energy auditor is similar with the certified energy manager, all the country are on the right track, and some of the country which is no call over here is they are still under preparation or under development. Thank you for the collaboration between ASEAN region and Japan for their support. These implementing bodies also stated of the year, such as ABTKE, IRAP, EC, TUE, NEA, and so on. On the ASEAN policies and electrical vehicles, tax incentive for manufacturers, yes, in Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia, as well as Vietnam, which is tax incentive for users or importers. Some of countries still drafting it, such as Philippines and Laos. Thailand already implementing it. Singapore and Vietnam already also did. On the mandatory parking, most of the countries not yet implement these policies. While it's on the mandatory charging station, most of them are not yet implementing the policies. On the penetration target, most of the countries already did, and mostly Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Vietnam, and some countries like Philippines and Laos are still drafting the policies on the penetration target. If we're looking at the status for energy intensity reduction, if we're looking at the graph over here, that we are having a target on reducing 20% in 2020, and indeed we achieved such target, which is in 2017 we already achieved 21% target of the reduction, and growing the looking at the successful energy intensity reduction, the member states agreed on increasing up to 32% in 2025 based on 2005 level. I think it is, hopefully it will be coming soon. If you're looking at the current status, that we are already achieved 22% in 22. So we need to have another 10% in 2025. The key measures to achieve the ASEAN Energy Community Regional Target, as it is targeted by ASEAN Plan of Action for Energy Cooperation, we plan to reduce the energy intensity 32% by 2025. My apologies, it is a typo. And also increase the RE share 23% in total primary energy supply in 2025, including the 35% share in the power plant. Yeah, and then the member states try to increase the RE share quite significantly. As you may know, that this year a European country already achieved their 37% supply of electricity coming from the RE. So it is quite challenging. In the short time, 5 years, we have to achieve such target. But we have to keep optimism on these matters. On the program area number 4 on the energy efficiency and conservation, to reduce energy intensity at 32% by 2025, we do have outcome-based strategies and program, which is, I think, quite interesting for our dialogue partners and international organizations to looking at the target in Southeast Asia up to 2025. First is the harmonized energy efficiency standard. Harmonized standard for air conditioning and lighting, expansion plan to cover refrigerators, electrical motors, TV, etc., green procurement, and database system. On the other outcome-based strategies, more innovative energy efficiency finance. So we move forward on the financial scheme for increasing the energy efficiency penetration, such as energy efficiency fund, ESCO fund, tax incentive, subsidy, concessional loan, on-bill financing, blockchain as well. In regard with the building, we plan to have towards net zero building. The activities such as green building code, urban planning and stock, roadmap development, energy audit and training, energy efficiency and net zero award from building, management gold standard, and enabling our policy. On the industrial sectors, we plan to have technology uptake such as energy management adoption, energy manager training, ASEAN Energy Efficiency Award for Industry, as well as energy efficiency pilot projects. On the transportation sectors, Fuel efficiency and electricity vehicle system also becoming our strategies and program, such as e-mobility study, ASEAN fuel economy standard, demand side management and demand response, smart energy services, EV charging station. So this is the activities ASEAN between ASEAN and Japan. We call it the ASEAN-Japan Energy Efficiency Partnership 2020-2021. Historically, we start the AJEP scheme starting 2012, and now we do have a new scheme, Scheme 4 in 2021 onward. The AJEP Scheme 3 narrowed the gap between IMS on ENC regulatory system, such as countries such as Cambodia, Laos, PDR, and Myanmar. So I think this program very, very good in regard with this narrowing the gap on the regulatory system between 10 member states. And of course, it will lead to the narrowing gap on the energy efficiency measures of each country. And of course, it will lead to the achieving the target of energy intensity reduction in 2025 and 2040. On the regional policy roadmap, we did such a study. We call it the Promotion of Higher Efficiency Air Conditioners in ASEAN, a regional policy roadmap. The reference standards testing method by using the testing method ISO 50000, and then also evaluation method ISO 16000. To evaluate fixed speed and inverter AC separately, and it will grow into the national standard bodies adoption, GSPF as common evaluation metric for both fixed and also the inverter. And the project description itself, the objective for the phase 1 is to adopt ISO 16000 and the harmonized standard of AC evaluation method, and to update national and regional policy roadmaps to promote higher efficiency air conditioner. That's the phase 1. And the phase 2 is to enhance capabilities in market verification and enforcement. The activities including the formation of technical working group, formation of policy working group, design of capacity building program, such as round-robin testing for testing laboratory in 5 member states, training and capacity building for ASEAN testing laboratories. I think this one is very good program and projects in order to make sure that we have standard testing laboratory on member states, and including the capacity building for the trainers, and mostly coming from Japanese expert. In regard with the energy management scheme, or IMAS, which is started in 2008 to promote greater energy stability, security, and stability as a pathway to building the ASEAN Economic Community 2015, and to balance economic development with environmental sustainability through improving energy efficiency. And then in 2009, ACE signed a contract with AU on the IMAS execution, and we do have quite increasing numbers along the years, and currently we already established, or we already trained or certified more than 1,600 energy managers, more than 120 local trainers, and around 65 local editors. And we have 15 country experts and also 9 energy end users throughout 10 member states. I hope most of the country will still joining and continue to support these activities, including Indonesia, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos, in order to increase the exposures or energy managers certification. The AMAS itself, we are the regional body, and we sign the certificate and then execute the certificate by conducting a training in each member states. So basically, we do have a country focal point and also IMAS country coordinators. We are open for any institution or bodies who are willing to be our partner in each member state. So we basically, the certification are open to anyone, any institution. What I mean is any institution, not personal, yeah? Any institution who have capabilities to deliver a training by using our modules to train and to educate people in their own country. And they will receive ASEAN energy management certification coming from us. The numbers in ASEAN are increasing quite significantly. Thailand is the highest, more than 4,293 in up to 2019, followed by Vietnam, more than 3,300, Malaysia 1,200, Singapore 1,000, and Indonesia around 686. To achieve ASEAN Economic Community goals, this energy security, accessibility, and affordability, it is very important. This dilemma to achieve sustainability. On the energy security, we do have to have a balanced energy mix, reduce dependency on imported fuels, enhance self-sufficient ratio in MS. Also resilient energy infrastructure, including the infrastructure development and standard of labeling. The coupling between gross domestic product and primary energy consumption, especially in the developing countries. Energy prices rationalized, single ASEAN energy market establishment through integration in connectivity and also integrated energy system. On the affordability part, a technical standard harmonization and elimination of trade barriers, established policy formulation and institutional framework to overcome common barriers to promote ENC strategies and promoting innovative EE finance mechanism is quite important to conduct in order to achieve the affordability measures. In regard with the accessibility measures, we plan to have an open access system for LNG connectivity, high level of rural electrification ratio achieved, energy intelligence and grid decentralization, last but not least, mutual recognition arrangement, and also regional energy labels and standard database. So this is all the activities within ASEAN in order to achieve the ASEAN Economic Community goals. And without the support from all member states and also our dialogue partners throughout the country, throughout the region, as well as beyond the ASEAN, including especially Japan, which is supporting a lot on the energy efficiency. I really appreciate the effort coming from Japan and hope we can continue to support the activities until we can make sure that the region is really efficient enough in regard with their consumption of the primary energy. You can look at our website, our social media as well to all of the information that I provided up here. Thank you very much for the opportunities. Back to you, Dr. Ardiansah. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tama. So yeah, it's really great to hear about the ASRE optimistic and enthused huge target, 32% by 2025 on energy efficiency. And I think that puts motivation for us to collaborate between all the stakeholders. And in this part also the academics. As I mentioned earlier that this seminar is actually co-hosted by Universitas Indonesia and also Waseda University. And we as an academics would like to take part in achieving those targets actually. So thank you again, Dr. Nuki.